Our friend Zach Gelb is joining us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. You can hear Zach Gelb afternoons nationally on the CBS Sports radio network. Hello, Gelby.
Guys, I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me as always. And a happy belated birthday to my man Channing Crowder, who's now an old fart.
I appreciate you, brother. This 40 doesn't wear on me well. I look old.
Would you
like that's why you're trying to be young with that Instagram model account that you're building. You're trying to just look a little bit younger.
Would you like to wish him a happy anniversary as well, Gelb? Today is the 14-year anniversary of Channing Crowder intercepting Tom Brady.
No, I won't do that. Since I didn't get invited to Channing Crowder's birthday bash, I will not give him any other congratulations throughout the rest of the year. So he gets one congratulations from me. And then he has to start being a friend, because this is what I'm starting to realize. I go to bat for Channing Crowder. I say screw Brandon Marshall, all that stuff, get his back in that. And then when it's the big moments, he's in the New York, New Jersey area. No call. It's his birthday. No call as well. Bad job.
Give you a little hint. Brandon didn't make the list either.
And I know you like me better than Brandon. You know what? That brightens up my day. I feel better about myself.
So we've had this conversation. I know we've had it with you, but Solana was telling us that on sportsbetting.ag, Tyreek has now leapfrogged Tua in the MVP odds. And there's going to be this building momentum where, hey, this is a season where you can give it to someone other than a quarterback. Now, again, this is if you extrapolate the numbers out and they hold steady for 17 games. And I do think it's funny. I was saying to them that I think it's funny that Brian Flores left this lasting legacy on Tua, that the 1 year you're going to make a case it shouldn't be the quarterback. It's going to be at Tua's expense. But I'll ask you again. I think we asked you last week, but I'll ask you again as we progress further now and Tyreek put up mad numbers on Sunday in Washington. Who would you give the nod to MVP right now?
Tyreek Hill, not only on his own team, but the rest of the NFL, because there is no quarterback that has consistently looked like the MVP to me in the year in the league this year. And if you look at what he's on pace to do, 17 touchdowns, over 130 catches, and over 2,000 yards, that to me is the most valuable player of the NFL. No non-quarterback has won the award since 2012, and Adrian Peterson won it, and no receiver has ever won in NFL history. I think Tyreek should be the first, but we know how this goes. He won't be the first wide receiver to win the award, because that's just the way the voters are. They're a bunch of old, curmudgeon, pain in the asses that don't want to adapt with the times and realize it's a pass-heavy league.
Hey, Gelb, I'm gonna follow that up when you say adapt with the times, because I had to. Because this damn Dak Prescott, bro, over the last 4 weeks, he is going crazy. No turnover. I think it's 9 touchdowns, 1,200 yards.
Channing, don't do this.
He's playing well. He's playing well. He's playing well. I had to say it.
Yes, but you are now allowing those cockroach Cowboy fans to get in your head. What you said from the start was that he's good. You just said in the big moments in playoff games against the better teams, you expect him to crumble. This is the same script as the last 2 years. I know Dak is healthy. Dak is playing great individually. He deserves credit. But in their 2 biggest games of the season, what happened? They got smacked by the 49ers. All right, everyone gets smacked by the 49ers these days. He played well up against the Eagles, but with the ball at the Philadelphia 6, with the game on the line, they took their final snap from the Eagles' 27-yard line. Now, I'm not a great math major, but when you're at the 6 yards away, and you wind up on the final snap at the 27, that's not moving in the right direction. They will be good. They'll win double digits. They'll be a team that you may not want to see come the playoff time, but there's going to be that big moment where Channing Crowder's going to be right, and we're going to have a big fiesta on social media.
You know what's happening here, Gelb, is that Crowder
he's getting soft with old age.
He's going to backtrack off his Dak opinion and going to leave you out on an island. No. You came to Crowder's defense and you embraced what he said.
Yeah.
You said, I got you, Crowder, and even though these guys are coming at you left and right, I'm going to take some of these bullets for you, and I'm going to prop up your opinion. And now Crowder's done with his opinion, and you're left standing there alone with no invite to the party, by the way.
He's lying, Gelb. I was just asking you. I was asking you about Dak. I got Brock Purdy over. I got a bunch of guys over Dak.
Trust me. Brandon Marshall was right. Channing Crowder is a backstabbing son of a bitch. He's right. I'm getting stabbed in the back right now. I am Team Brandon Marshall.
Backtrack. See, now he's got a backtrack. What, Gelb, what do you make of FSU not being in the college football playoffs? We haven't spoken to you, obviously, since this all transpired. And I'm curious what your take is, because I know you love college football.
And I love Florida State. They were my pick to win the ACC before the start of the year. I know Mike Norvell pretty well. Jordan Travis, one of the toughest quarterbacks in the country, and Jared Verse is going to be a top 5, top 10 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. It's unfortunate. There's nothing great that you could say to Florida State fans. I understand their anger. If I was a Florida State fan, I'd be cursing up the college football playoff committee left and right. I don't have a problem, though, with what the college football playoff committee did. It's rotten. It's unfortunate. But Alabama plays Florida State tomorrow, let's just say. I do think Alabama will win the game. It's just one of those years where a lot of teams didn't.
It's a committee. It's a committee.
But that's not how you do it.
But Hawk, there's no definition. It's just the 4 best teams. That's what they say. And it's really a mixture of the 4 best teams and the 4 deserving teams. And this year, there wasn't enough teams that stubbed their toes. That's totally a fair argument, but there's only 4 teams that they could pick. And this year, Georgia, it's really not the 4 best teams. It's a Venn diagram of the 4 best teams and the 4 most deserving teams. Georgia this year, definitely one of the 4 best teams, but they didn't have the deserving part of the argument because they just lost to Alabama in the SEC title game. And look, last year, this wouldn't have been a problem because everyone stubbed their toe, and then you saw Ohio State back their way in. It's just one of those years.
Wait a second. So the conference championship game matters when it's Alabama and Georgia, but it doesn't matter when it's FSU and the ACC?
Yes.
Did you watch that the FSU ACC Louisville title game?
But that doesn't matter. That's their conference championship game.
It sucks. I'm not saying it's right. It's rotten, but I can't be here irate and going on all these local television hits and start saying, yeah, Florida State definitely deserved to belong. I can't crush the committee what they did. Because, put it this way, Florida State gets in the college football playoff. Do you feel like Florida State can win a national championship? Any of these 4 teams this year can win it all.
It's more, and even further, Gelb, it's less intriguing to have Florida State play with these guys, and it's not going to sell as many tickets. This is more about money. The committee's trying to make money, Hawk.
Well, then if Florida State, because they're in the ACC, can't go to a college football playoffs because they're in the ACC, even they go undefeated.
And their quarterback
hurt. It's because Jordan Travis got hurt. That's what it is. If Jordan Travis didn't get hurt, they're in.
They should withdraw from the conference and just play patsies all year long and make money. Or play big games and make money. Dude, if nothing matters.
Well, it costs about $300 million to get your TV rights and also get out of the conference. They're stuck in the ACC for the next 10 years.
I mean, but you saw, and Gelb obviously is part of the problem. You saw the ACC is disrespected. You'd much rather have a 1-loss SEC team than an undefeated ACC team. Yeah,
I would. Now, here's what I will say, because Channing brings up a great point. Money does play a factor into this. They are going for the ultimate money grab, those pigs, next year by making this a 12-team playoff, which devalues the regular season. Another Florida State fan will say, well, what does the regular season matter anyway? We just went undefeated and didn't get in. But what I've learned from this, and I've been someone that's been skeptical about expanding the playoff, they should go to 6 teams, and then look what would have happened. You would have Michigan, you would have Washington on byes, then we would see Florida State, Alabama, and you would have Texas going up against Georgia. It provides some insurance to the CFP, and then also still values the regular season and then conference championship weekend.
Then we'd be arguing about 6 and 7, Gelb.
That's fine. You know what? Guess what? Who would have got screwed this year? Ohio State and Oregon. I don't need to see any more of Ohio State and Oregon this year.
I don't know. It seems unfair to me. And again, I'm not an FSU.
That silence is, Gelb is right. That is what that silence means. That pause. They're both looking at each other saying, this a-hole got it right.
I'm surprised at how wrong you are on this college football playoffs, because it kind of smacks to the purity of sport. If you go undefeated, and I understand sports is
it sucks. I agree with you.
It doesn't sound like you do.
I could agree with you that Florida State. Here is my take.
You on the committee, who are the 4 teams you have in the college football playoffs?
The 4 teams that they selected. But with that being said, this is my take on Monday. I'll continue to say it again. Florida State got screwed. That is a factual statement, but it doesn't mean that the committee made the wrong decision. It was just a bad draw this year.
Nah, I don't think so. I think you're wrong on that one.
The ACC might bounce back.
If they were Clemson, we wouldn't hear a peep out of Hawk. It's because they play in Florida. He has to rally up the troops and lead the charge. We all know that. If this was Duke, you wouldn't give a rat's ass, you flyer, you fraud.
FSU is miserable. I love when they're miserable. I hate being the guy caping up for FSU, but what's right is right.
I don't know. Have you been out at this Florida Atlantic basketball team for a game this year, or you only pay attention to them come March Madness, Hawk?
I'm literally talking Power 5 conferences, though. Here's my delineation on Florida State when you go, oh, what about Liberty? Yeah. Florida State, Power 5 conference, you go undefeated and you win your conference championship. That doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, that literally doesn't mean anything anymore.
So who would you have squeezed out?
Sun Belt.
Well, I disagree with that.
ACC, who? Clemson fell
Sun Belt
off.
on steroids.
Clemson, Josh.
I mean, that's insulting.
Clemson fell off. Georgia Tech's not good. North Carolina State's not balling. Like, look at the conference.
How are you
not a lot of
forgetting
good
Miami? You're forgetting Miami.
What are y'all, 7-5?
Are you going to a bowl game, Mr. Gator?
Nah, you gonna throw it back on me.
I want to know if you're going to a bowl game
I'm
or not.
arguing ACC.
Did you see that disrespectful kid, what he did to Billy Napier? He took a photo with Billy Napier as a video, and coach goes to take a photo with him, and it's an LSU fan. He goes, how does it feel to get 50 hung up on you by the LSU Tigers? What a troll job. If that was my son, I'm saying good job than smacking him around a little bit.
They got no respect.
Are you going to go see my Miami Hurricanes in the Pinstripe Bowl, Gelb? That's near you.
I probably got to work that day. That's what, a Tuesday at like 2 p.m.?
It's a Thursday. I think it's
outside
2:30 against Rutgers.
Yeah, I got to work. I got to work.
Have you seen the Rutgers intro at the football games with the Sopranos music?
Woke up
it
this
looks
morning,
great, man.
Got myself
it looks
a gun.
really good. Really cool.
And then you have all these, I don't know, old people are annoying me today. You have like a lot of old people saying, oh, does anyone in the crowd even watch The Sopranos? Like with streaming, everyone now has seen The Sopranos, even if it was on 20 years ago.
Solana just got turned on to it, right?
Yeah, I binged it within the last like 3 months. I watched it in a month. The entire thing.
Finished it all.
Finished the entire thing.
It's great, right?
Best show I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite show of all time.
I put
hands
it up
down.
Best show. It's between that and the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones. Best shows I've ever seen.
Really interesting. Now, what your best show ever is what?
Dave Chappelle Show.
Martin?
Oh, Chappelle Show. Great intro. One of the greatest intros of all time. And you know what's wild? Chappelle Show would not fly in the year of 2023. He would get canceled for some of the jokes that he made. And I love the Chappelle Show.
Milkman.
I can't even elaborate.
We thought the same thing, Hawk. With that dinner scene with the name of the reservation, we'd all get fired outside of Channing.
You've seen the hidden season, or the season they were making that supposedly canceled it?
I haven't seen it.
It's worse than the ones they like. Oh my goodness!
How about when he dresses up as the?
I'm going Ferrero Rocher balls out.
One of my favorite episodes ever is when he dresses up though as the blind black Klans member, and then he has everyone's head explode.
Just brilliant.
Like brilliant.
I can't even. I want to quote.
The Cribs edition also good. The Cribs edition is also good when the dinosaur eggs hatch in his house. Like unbelievable.
It is great. It is great.
Clayton Bigsby, right? Clayton
Bigsby.
Yes.
He loved his wife.
So your favorite show of all time is Sopranos, Gelb.
Yes, hands down. And also, my cousin's ex-husband had a minor role in The Sopranos.
Your cousin's ex-husband. Who is that?
He was an actor. He was how can I say this on the radio? Big Meows, not actual, but his son in the show.
It was him.
The son in the show, yes. Big Meow's son. He's in
what
like
about
a few
The
scenes.
Office? Is The Office on your Mount Rushmore of TV shows ever?
The Office is something that I love to use the GIFs on social media, but I was never a big Office fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Seinfeld?
Like good show. Yeah, so I like Seinfeld, but not one of my. It's just I guess you could go back and watch it all. Just a different generation now. My favorite shows ever. 24 in no order. 24 with Jack Bauer, Sopranos, Entourage. And then I love reality TV. Like, I could watch Real Housewives of New Jersey all day. I could watch Jersey Shore as well. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, Hawk.
No, I did not see that one coming. Like Kardashians and below that kind of stuff.
Real Housewives of New Jersey, one of our colleagues, Tiki Barber, and his wife were on it 2 years ago, and I started binge watching it, and now I'm all into the Melissa Gorga, Teresa Giudice feud. Very big fight.
No idea what that is.
What is that?
I have no
Don't
idea.
worry. With Crowder now being an influencer, we'll see him on one of those shows soon.
You missed it then. You know, Crowder and his wife Asia were on a show called Baller Wives on VH1.
Oh, I would kind of expect Crowder to be on Naked and Afraid with his wife, just wandering around places. Some of the stories I hear about Crowder.
He's naked and she's afraid.
Let him call.
So what's that check like?
Yeah, we saw Crowder's wife a few weeks ago trying to avoid the cameras crawling out of the hotel room that they were in, and we were all like, what the heck is going on?
I got 5 or 6 texts about that.
Let him call.
Let him call. I'll be right on.
Let him call.
I want to go by myself, though. I don't want to support anybody else out there.
Solana keeps inundating us every top of the hour and headlines. In fact, he led today with the NBA in-season tournament.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Okay, I'm just.
What is he on the Heat payroll too?
Invested in this. There's so much going on in South Florida sports, and he's really fully invested in this. So you're not paying attention to it.
No, I don't work for the Miami Heat, so therefore I don't have to hype up this lame in-season tournament.
The Heat are out of it. The Heat are out of it. It's a cup game. It's a cup game, Gelb.
But Solana's doing what's in the best interest of the league and also trying to promote the league. And also it's like a weird kind of soccer kind of vibe too. So I know what Solana's doing.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the Heat or the league, but you're right. There's a pretty good formula for this to be successful, and it's in Europe, and it's the most successful club competition in the history of sports, and the NBA is trying to emulate it, and guess what? There's a recipe to success for it, and it's going to be successful here. You guys don't want to jump on the bandwagon right now? Fine. 2-3 years from now, you're going to remember who was here first telling you this stuff is great.
Did you see what Ime Udoka called LeBron James the other night? That's what Solana's acting like right now.
I love that.
And what are you going to do about it, Solana?
Yeah, Solana, what are you going to do about it?
Something about it.
You better calm down, bro. You better
now I'm
going to
learn. I'm going to learn something about everyone here because
I'll have Bobby Bacala on Solana's ass in a second.
Bobby Bacala, great. Oh, what's going on up here? Field trip. A security guard just walked over and handed me and Crowder 3 boxes of candy. I'm going to find out a lot about you guys right now when I make you choose. Hot tamales.
Next.
Mike and Ike sour. Goobers.
What
Which
is
one are you taking, Gelb?
Can I get the definition of what's the goober right there? Is that like
Really?
a chocolate?
You've never had goobers before? Chocolate covered peanuts.
Yeah, that because the other two, I like chocolate when it comes to candy.
Wow,
Crowder,
man.
my guess is the hot tamales.
Man, that's the best candy in the building.
The hot tamales.
What, hot tamales?
Yeah. He loves.
What, do they not have Reese's peanut butter cups?
Or maybe these Starburst fave reds.
Now we know why Crowder had to get his teeth done after all those years. Too much candy.
Also, are what Ime Udoka said.
Like the fave red.
Would you like me to save you, Gelb, an Aaron Ekblad mini bobblehead?
No, I'd rather have a Vinny Viola bobblehead.
Right, fair
Go
enough.
Cats, baby. Throw those rats.
Fair enough. Throw those rats tonight. We're at the Amerant Bank Arena. Panthers and Dallas Stars.
Oh, Peter DeBoer, little homecoming.
A little Pete the Boar, if I can quote my friend Sid Rosenberg.
Yes.
Time for the Pete the Boar show.
My dear friend, Pete DeBoer.
Pete the Boar.
Yeah, leave my shit alone. He was my first radio partner.
He used to have Pete the Boar on every week because he was the coach down here. He used to always do the same thing. Oh, my good friend Pete the Boar. Pete the Boar.
And Victor Bermudez did not punch Pete DeBoer in the face.
Sid, Sid can make anyone sound like he would make Pete the Boar sound like he's the next Don Shula for South Florida. One of the greatest coaches that has ever walked the sidelines of anybody in South Florida, the great Pete the Boar.
Well, it's funny. I was actually listening to Sid the other day, and it's Soprano driven. He had on Steve Sharippa on from The Sopranos. And very much as we were just talking, and he was like, "Oh, I saw him when my wife was running the marathon. He was there on the sideline." And the next thing you know, now they're going Christmas Day to Bucks Knicks together after the interview.
He's Sid. I mean, even when he was down here, this has to be 10 years ago. He was talking about his wife running the marathon then, and he was having Steve Sharippa on the air here. Like what he's doing. I mean, not that I'm not doing the same show that we've been doing for 15 years, but I'm doing the same exact show as well. I can't
Sid talked me into taking a taxi from Indianapolis to Cincinnati at 3 a.m. Something crazy.
What did Sydney to drive? Did Sydney to ride? Is that why?
I was paying, so he might have gotten me.
All right, we gotta go. Zach Gelb, listen to Zach Gelb on the CBS Sports Radio Network.
Hey, what about Devon Achane this week?
Get him out of here, Solana.
Later, guys.
Get him out of here.